What's going on, everyone? And as usual, we'll wait a few minutes for these live shows to start. I think I'll put my hair up, y'all. Meow. What you say to meow? What up, Instance? And Aldrin. It's good. It's good, people. Well, I'm enjoying this beer that someone bought me, and I already got the beer that somebody else got me, so cool. This is warming me up for the ride home later, because I didn't bring anything else to wear. I am doing well. In fact, what kind of night is it? What is this? Smoke something good. Eat some chocolate. Drink some beer. And talk to all y'all about, I don't know. I got back on here. Probably throw some cards around for some people. Help you navigate your futures. How are you, Instance? What's going on? How's life in, what was it, Oklahoma or Arkansas? You're from Midwest, right?
Flip the phone in the back seat. Gotcha. If anything, I still got your number. Right? Thank you.
It ain't no Cuban, homie. Yeah, it's not that good. Although I got a couple delightful cigars every now and then, and it's the perfect temperature tonight, about 68. Normally for me it's like a morning thing, like a cup of coffee, balance out the cigar, but the season can provide for the beer and the cigar. And Alabama, that's right. What kind of chocolate beer did you have? Because there are some chocolate stouts that are very, very, very good. But it's something that you can only have occasionally. Yeah, I can't mess with that cold weather, man. Move to the south. Go back to where we came from. We all came from the equator. We all came from the equator for sure. Seems like that's a very long story, but it seems like we came all from the equator, then dispersed trying to search and navigate, and as we did, we were finding different things to eat, finding different look at that, I like that right there, Sink. So we're finding different things to eat. As the climate changed, we lost some melanin. We stopped eating the same fruits. We started consuming things from outside of the equator. Yeah. Lion strong. I don't know how you can. You know. Everybody want to tell everybody else how to do. I don't know, man. What are you good at? You know, start there. What do you like? What inspires you? What can you inspire others to do? You know, those are the important questions. There's no one specific answer, you know? I mean, the simplest is do the thing you love. And, I mean, but I don't even agree with that one. You know what I love doing? I love cooking. But you know why I don't work in restaurants? Because I would end up hating cooking. I specifically don't do what I love doing as a job, or even if it was like I could, you know, even if it was work, like because I would end up hating it. I'd end up loathing the thing that I love because I spent all the time with it. It's why people, you know, like people in marriages, because you get tired and bored of the same thing. Like if there was a distance for most people in marriages, this has to do with getting a job too, or working, or anything, is that people need distance and separation from things. So if you love doing something, don't do that. Do what you're kind of good at, but you're excited about, that you're like, ooh, that's interesting. That's what you need to do. Don't do what if you're good at it, like if you're already excellent at something. What's up, my friend? So if you're already excellent at something, or if you have, say, like, you know, if you love it or you're excellent at it, it's not a good idea to do it for a living, because it will end up draining the love for that out. You need something that you're just secondarily kind of in love with, that you might have a little bit of desire for. Think about it. Who do you go after? If you're a man, you go after the woman that you don't have. You go after the thing that, you know, it's always the new thing. It's like, what is that? Oh, that's, you don't love that person. You don't know that person. You try to acquire some sort of knowledge of something. So the things that you're ambitious about, that's what you should do. Like literally a restaurant, even I love cooking and I'm very, very good at it, but it would kill me. I would be in the kitchen and all of a sudden literally burn myself out and like end up hating it. What things did I not, what did I never really like doing? I mean, not necessarily not like doing, but which I was better at, talking to people in this extent. It would be nice to put my voice on the audio. It'd be nice to, you know, do a little film, but I was kind of like, I don't know if I want to go that route. But it was somewhat engaging to me. So this becomes more of like, oh, I can grow through this. If I took one of the things that I'm really good at, and it would just turn into mush. It would turn into nothing. I use the same thing here. I really like cigars, but because I do, I don't smoke them every day. I don't smoke them, but this is probably the first cigar I've had in a week, and before that, maybe a month. Before that, maybe 3 months. Because I know if I did, I would literally not like it. Maybe it's Sam Adams. Well, there you go. Unstons, get outside of the Sam Adams stuff. If you find some smaller craft stuff, I don't want me to be like the fucking, yeah, IPA craft beer, blah. But there's some really good chocolate stouts, coffee stouts, things like that are really, really incredible. So yeah, it's about 10 minutes in here. Cool. I didn't really have anything to. I didn't come up with another subject that I was really emotionally tied to talk about. I had a bunch of things written down in my little notepad. It's funny. I got like 300 different notes of things that I wanted to do for shows, and I have not looked at any of them. I'll write them down, and then I end up doing a show and then not look at them. So I got like probably 300 different show ideas that I've just like really plotted out. Like I had a very long thought, like I was in the shower and I was like, oh, this is what I need to talk about. And by the time I got to the camera, I had a whole new thing I wanted to do. Oh, you're watching the Vikings, like the football Vikings or the Vikings the show? Flo Bartholomew, you mean Vikings the show? Is there a new season of that? Or is that an old one? Christine, did I inhale this? No. That would be pain and suffering. Oh, okay, there we go. So you started season 2, yeah. Vikings, I don't know if you started watching it because one of the shows that I said to watch that. It's awesome. Vikings is, if you can get through the redundant battle scenes, but that's in every one of the kind of these kind of shows out there. If you can get over the redundant battle scenes that are kind of just like, okay, I got it. The storyline and some of the archetypical things going on there, it's really, really awesome. Oh yeah, there's some very powerful women in that show. At that point, have you seen The Wanderer? Have you met The Wanderer yet, Flo? Christine Whitehead. They're on 2 different stations. It depends on what you're looking for. From the archetype kind of context, if you're really into Viking heritage, then Vikings. But they both have an amazing, like, if the budget was the same, they'd probably be you know what I mean? And just like, you can tell there's just a little less done in the budget for the show. Like, and there's a little less, it's not written for 10 seasons, you know what I mean? And I never really got that deep into Game of Thrones. When everybody was into it for like 4 years, I was like, yeah, cool, I'll watch it whenever I watch it. Then I watched it and I was like, yeah, I liked Vikings better. Yeah, you're in therapy. You could talk to. Yeah. That's a big step. What other things have you? You said the child's family. Like it's not your kid. It's someone else's. Ripe Soul. Because we kind of chatted about this a little bit, right? Have you? Yeah. These are always steps for people. Like, how much are they into alternative things? You got to start there. Like, like there's a bunch of things. They're like, here's some solutions. Here's what will solve a lot of those problems. But like, what are people willing to go through? Changing the diet is huge, as I know said. Yeah, see, if they think doctors have the best interest at heart, there's nothing they're going to do. That's what it's more. The only way they could ever figure out that that's not true is to find somebody with an autistic child that altered their life via, consuming clay. Clay is a big thing. Clay baths. Taking clay internally. Just cleaning up the diet is the major thing. But beyond that, anything they're doing, if they're believing in a doctor and a doctor's prescribing medicine, you're basically trying to fight a scenario with the same like it's not gonna. While they continue to get poison the child, it's not gonna get better. Like that's just the reality of it. All it would look like if someone that believed in the doctors, oh, if you tell me to do this and juice and put these in the diet and they're still feeding the poison, it's just going to make it look like the actual healing mechanism isn't working. Yeah, that's got to be really tough. Dealing with people like that are actually at school that they've already made a double investment. They're doubling, like they invested their money, their time. They're in a deep hole of like, how could you convince them? How could they change? That'd be tough. I know people on the other side of that are like in the profession, but Christine, is autism a lack of sulfur in the diet? I mean, it's not any one thing, but yeah, that's certainly part of it. It's less lacking and more blocking of things. I've done a couple videos on autism specifically, but it's more of mental blockages, whether it's literally a physical one. There's emotional blockages, traumas held within the body and the brain. Obviously, the heavy metals ain't helping. So there's a lot of things to do to unlock parts of the brain from a actual cognitive standpoint, as well as literally a physical standpoint, as well as like there's things like I put this. I guess I didn't talk to you about this already. I was talking to Soul's son about it. I talked to her, and her kid is autistic, and literally said that like I had a talk with her, and she said literally that like a couple days after I talked to her, that her kid started eating an apple, not even, she didn't have to ask him to. He just ate an apple. It's really weird, because we were talking about different things to get in the kid's diet, but yeah, there a couple of things are an infinity walk. Look up the words infinity walk. I think, didn't we already talk about this? I'm sorry if I don't remember. A lot of people I chat with. But the infinity walk is one. Tell them to look that up. Right, Soul? The words infinity walk. This is even doctors behind this. You know what I mean? This isn't even a hard deal. Like there's infinity walk, and there's also getting into labyrinths. Doing a labyrinth. Just walking the child through a labyrinth or putting it in a labyrinth. That alone, those two things alone will help to do a lot to just unlock things. And especially if it's just really coming out as a mental slowing down disorder, like don't want to talk. There's literally people that said they've thrown a child into a labyrinth, and when the kid came out the other side, it spoke its first words. So that infinity walk helps to balance out the brain, but the labyrinth would literally do something completely anew to a child. Sugar is bad for autistic children. I mean, not from a fruit. I mean, you can't just make a blanket statement like that. That's not true at all. And sugar from a cane, that's just not true at all. It's false. So you can't just make blanket statements, because sugar, when it's refined, and all of the reasons it's refined is because of how do you refine sugar? When it comes in the form of Clorox bleached sugar, well, that bleach is part of the problem, literally bleaching brains. But yeah, sugar from a fruit, no, it's not true. Yeah. People that are starting to be doctors, right, soul, they're always going to be sick, because it's like anything. You look into the people that tend to have jobs doing something, it's because that was what they were trying to fix in their own life. Find somebody in the mental health field, they probably were trying to fix something in their brain. Somebody that is sick all the time wants to be a doctor. Somebody that has religious problems, there's all of these things. Like, it tends to be the route people go into. Ripe, so there you are. I am that I am. Yes. Christine White, where would you find a labyrinth? Yeah, a maze, like in a garden, yes. You can look up a lot of cities. I can't say a lot. I don't know. You might find parks or places. Just look up labyrinths in your city. And in fact, you might even... look up an autism website and then look up labyrinths, because there's people that might have a labyrinth on their property. And some people that have labyrinths on their property, for whatever reason, tend to be like, that's the solution because maybe their kid had it and they looked it up and realized how helpful it was. So you can look up labyrinths and, maybe look at some message boards, maybe get onto like Reddit or something. Yeah, distilled water is always the way to go. Distilled water is one of the biggest things. I mean, that's the number one thing in your body. Distilled water is a major thing. Yeah, and people that already have faith in see, this is what I've talked about before. So people that already have faith in the doctors community, whenever I see like Dr. So-and-so on the TV, and they're saying some things that are really false, but then 80% is kind of bringing people closer, I'm like, that's their use. They're a bridge this way. They're not a bridge that way. You know what I mean? It's trying to get people away from that doctor thing that already have a belief in the doctor systems, but they also have a belief in the concept of a doctor, right? So they're on the TV and they believe in their television. They believe in... Hold on 1 second, y'all. Okay. So they have a belief in all of that, right? So those doctors are to bring people closer to the real truth, Yeah, there we go. I know. Yeah, I would just... Yeah, but I like that to be clear whenever I'm speaking, because now it's not just us on here. People are going to be listening in the future. So whenever I make that statement, it's so whoever's listening in the future realizes sugar's not the problem. White sugar's problem. Yeah. So I wasn't kind of arguing with you about that. Yeah, dude. Cornstalk mazes are awesome. That does wonders for everything. Like anybody should walk through a maze. It's fun. It engages all sorts of parts of the brain. So check it out. This place closes, and I have something charging inside. So I'm not leaving my phone out here, but I'll leave this on. So you're just gonna have to bear with me for like 5 minutes as I go and collect my goods from inside. Okay, everyone, is that okay? Or should I just pause? Should I just pause this? Let me see if I can just pause this, and I'll be back in like 5 minutes. And Brad Milligan, I'll get to that on the other one, because natural spring water is a great idea too. But we'll get into that. Don't pause, Sticky Hickey. Gotta pause it, or I'll just start a new one. I'm not leaving the shit here. No. No, this shit will be gone if I leave it here. I just need to pause it and put it in my bag, is what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to. We'll see what happens. If the shit just stops or whatever, I'll be right back. Oh my god, holy moly. Holy cannolis. Holy aluminum foily. I don't know. Who's here? Getting all hoodied up out here, y'all. Like the Terminator. Did I just do a really bad Terminator ref? That was awful. I'll never do that again. I need a lot more whiskey or vodka in me to do any kind of Arnold Schwarzenegger impressions, because there's some people out there that do really good ones, so. Let's scroll back, see what I missed here. Nothing at all. Christine, you thought this was a safe area? I mean, safe? You know, this is relative terms though, Christine, if you're back. Safe, like I don't feel like threatened by anything. I mean, that's just me, but safe as in like if I left something out here? Yo, this is like honor amongst thieves. Thieves are not assassins, and thieves are not like wanting to beat anybody up. Thieves want your shit and they go. Like this area here. I mean, anybody come up on something, like even somebody that's not a thief. If a camera was sitting here, if this camera was sitting here and I walked by, I might consider it mine. Not really, but you're watching with a friend right now, and she's skeptical as how magical I really am. Well, guess there's only one way to find out, huh? It's like what do they say? I don't do drugs, I am drugs. I don't do magic, I am magic. How can I possibly go about showing your friend how magical I am? Should I do I look magical yet? Should I put my hair down, or should I put on my magic outfit? Is the hoodie okay? Or do I just look like a common gutter punk? How can someone learn to make an impression? What you mean, Cam? Everybody makes an impression. It doesn't matter. How do you learn to make one? What kind of one do you want to make? I think that would be the first question to ask yourself.
The weirdest thing.
What is?
This.
Oh, I know, right?
It's so ugly. Wow.
Yeah. What is it doing? Because they'll just throw them in the streets like everybody else does. Someone will stand right there smoking and then throw their butt over there.
It's like people don't understand what it is. I wouldn't. But then again, I don't smoke. I'm in an awkward position. Thank you.
Impersonations. So you want to impersonate an impression? Oh, yeah, impersonations. Yeah, man, that takes a lifetime. I'm only good at a few of them, and even those I'm not even that good at. Yeah, comedy's a weird thing, man. I think you got to be born in a comedic environment. You have to be able to. Comedians tend to be people that make something good out of something that's not good. Comedians can be good actors, but actors can never be good comedians. Like, someone that's a comedian could be a chef, you know, and people that are in kitchens are usually pretty funny. There's some kind of dialogue amongst people that something to do with struggle, you know, and how people deal with struggling. There comes a lot of value of comedy out of that. The funniest people I've ever met have been, you know, the ones that had the most weird shit. This is effed up kind of, you know, strange lives and whatever, because it makes better stories, right? And if you can learn how to be a good storyteller about weird shit rather than being like, you know, there's something in there. I mean, I got a couple friends that are good at impressions, but not me so much. So Ripe Soul, what's up? What do I gotta do here? I feel like, you know, I didn't really have anything to talk about, anything magical to talk about. I've kind of went through this, but like, you want real-time magic? What do you want me to do? You want me to do it like you mean levitate, that kind of magic, or you want me to magic like, how did that just happen? Tell her to look into my eyes. Did that help? Is there any magic in there? I can do a tarot card reading, for sure. Oh man, Electric Tau, you just came in here like I took a break myself. I got into a little bit of that earlier. We'll dig into that in a little bit. That's, you know what, that's all really good stuff. I definitely will. I'll deal with that directly after I pull these cards out for Ripe Soul. What do you want to know? What's because I told you this before. Tarot card readings can happen one of three ways for me. Like, I can just throw the cards out. I can influence them slightly. What kind of question? What does she want to know? Okay, she's had a tough couple weeks. Which cards does she want? The red ones or the blue ones? Does she want the? Ask her if she wants the red pill or the blue pill. Red pill. What's up, my dude? Red pill it is. People tend to like the red ones. So what is your query? What is it you must know? Tell me what you want to know. I will tell you your future. Or I could tell you your past. Or I could tell you whatever you want to know. What do you require? Oh, you already posted? Okay. Sure. What are the events that she's been going through trying to teach her? Okay. That's an excellent question. What does she need to learn? That's the most simple, basic, wonderful question that anyone can ask about tarot cards. Is what is this shit trying to teach me? These will tell you. Let's see. Here. Let's just shuffle them up a little bit. This one, it's right here. Okay. There's the card. It was upside down. This card here is the 14th card of the major arcana, which is Temperance. It literally is the name of the card, Temperance. Trying to teach her temperance. So, what does that mean deeper, on a deeper level, like just beyond that single word? But interestingly enough, I could pick any other card in the deck. And you've seen the deck, you know what these cards are. I could pick the moon. What does the moon have to do with teaching? Like, we could figure it out. I could pick up the priestess. That wouldn't make sense. I could pick out basically 3 cards here. I could pick out 3 that would be good, but that's one of them. The hermit, that wouldn't be right. So, apparently, we can look at this, and I'll even go to, as I like to do, read out of the people that made this, because they have a little bit more comprehension of what they're trying to say. They have a little more of like, there's a reason they designed the card the way they did. They'll have I'll have a different opinion on what this card means. So I'll just go right to the book. So if she wants to look up Saint Sophia, if she looks up the word Saint Sophia, then she can understand a little bit more. And Sophia, interestingly enough, means Mother Earth. Sophia is really connected to what the Earth is. And Saint Sophia is about having a lack of clarity, opposition, anxiety, and a dislike for something. And so the answer is, the lesson is, because the card was upside down, the lesson is, how do we flip it around so it's righteous, or right side up? And that would mean to figure out a way to adapt to things, to transform your ideas healthy and in a positive way, like to have more of a relaxed view on the world. And that's exactly what this card means. To relax around the world and stop letting the anxiety come to you, and start to, transmute the energies of whatever situations come to you and change them. It's literally the best card out of the 22 major arcana to answer that specific question. Magic, real time. No, just Katesh said it very simply. Teaching you balance by understanding how far out of balance you can be. You sit there on a tightrope, you keep falling over, it teaches you how to balance. So when you deal with certain kinds of events or whatever, it teaches you, like, okay, maybe I'm too stressed out by something I shouldn't be. Maybe I shouldn't involve myself in that, I shouldn't be so tense about it. And then finding that kind of, how do I really feel about the situation? What's its impact on my life really? Is it helping me to alter the way that I see things? Should I be moving forward in a different way? So yeah, I definitely, as with the cards, I usually I don't like to leave the teaching, I don't like to do the, here I just gave you the reading, I'm the oracle, but to say, hey, take the Saint Sophia and go look that up. So just to further, get into kind of a understanding what that card means, because when I pull that card out, it's not as, I just got my tarot read. Like, no. Like, if you really, really, really want to know, dig into what that card means. People come out and they read their cards for fun and think, I saw a tarot reader, and that was fun for the evening. It's not like that. This is literally like altering her path and experience in life from this moment forward, if she chooses to. And that is one way to do it, by involving yourself, into the card that I just said. I'm not keeping See, most card readers, they're like, well, you can't know. No, I want you to know what that card means, because that is exactly what you need to know, who Saint Sophia is and her teachings. Yeah, well, the cigarettes are, you know, so the simple ways there, just in the physical manifestation, like what can we do to fix the cigarette thing, is replace it, smoke something else, like find a better alternative. Still smoke, that's fine, because we already know if we're already at the bottom rung, if we're smoking the worst thing, let's find the type of things. Licorice root is great. Find licorice root, clove. Roll your own, and then going through that process will start to engage you with what it is to smoke a cigarette. Rather than smoking a cigarette, you actually have to go through a process, rolling a cigarette. You know it's in there, and now instead of being hurtful to you, it is literally helpful to you, especially if you're using quality tobacco, say clove, some licorice root, maybe some mint, real mint. Now all of a sudden you're actually doing something that is healing and helpful to the system. Even though you think the problem is smoking, the problem isn't smoking, it's what's being smoked. And it's not the diet, right? It's not that you're eating, it's what you're eating. So just by changing tiny little things, tiny little variables changes everything. What do they say about golfing? If you're off by half a degree when you're hitting a golf club, like if I'm hitting my driver and I'm off by a half a degree, a centimeter off, a millimeter off, a tenth of a millimeter off, it changes where the ball goes by 100 yards. And so just all we need to do is like little micro adjustments in what we do. Smoke the cigarette. But now instead of going from just, okay, instead of doing the unfiltered, let's just think about it. What should we be putting in there? Zet Chrono coming with the wild stuff out of nowhere. What would a 100-day water fast do? To who? Where? What would a 100-day water fast do to you, where you are right now? Probably wouldn't be a great idea. It's going to be a little too long. What would that do to a 500-pound man that was living on the equator? Would save his life. You know what I mean? Do I think polarity of thoughts contributed to the upside down card? Yeah, well, yeah, I think the cards, as I've explained before, have because they're all built in rectangles, they always give a positive and a negative polarity. I don't necessarily read or believe in the cards that way. I tend to use them differently because I understand more about what the tarot is, but most people would just, if they were reading the tarot, would say, yeah, that would be a polarity, yes or no, on or off, but that's not really how it works. But yeah, people believing in polarity will cause, you know, sometimes I've had good situations in my life that I had a bad mentality about that ended up becoming a bad situation, and I've had bad situations that actually turned into something good just by altering thoughts slightly. Sticky Icky, what up, man? So Cam, I'm gonna pull you one, and then Sticky Icky, I'll pull you one. What do you want one for, Cam? 2 cards right now, and then next week. What you want to know? Okay, I'm not pulling yours quite yet, Cam. Tell me more. And Sticky Icky, what you want your card for? And that's awesome, Ripe Soul. I'm just the conduit for the information. I don't really exist. I'm not from this time or space. I'm just here for now. Yeah, Zach Chrono, I don't know that you'd die, but it probably wouldn't be a great idea for you to do a 100-day water fast. Something in you would tell you about probably 40 days in that you should probably start consuming some juice or something. Okay. Alright, well, Sticky got in there first. Are you making the right decision about tomorrow? That's pretty simple, right? Correct. It's pretty simple, right to the point. Let's see. Are you making the right decision about tomorrow? I like it because it's wide open. So, let's see. Right there. I'm going to flip it over for you. Here it is. Ooh, there it is. First card of the deck. Upside down. It's the Magician. So, what do you think? If you want to know further, that in this deck, that's the resurrection of Lazarus. And basically, the answer is a loss of strength, bewilderment, impotence. It would be pretty sure that it's not a good idea unless you plan on doing the things to make it a good idea if you see like it needs to be done. But no, right off the cusp, probably not a good idea. It's probably not the right decision. Like if you were just to play, like flip a coin, and if it wasn't like if this isn't like some major decision in your life, I would say like, you know, if it's more major, I would say no, we're flipping more cards, and let's just see a little further. But if this is just some basic shit, bad decision. Pretty simple. Emotional healing from the past, Cam. Yeah, let me do, you said you wanted 2. So what was it you said exactly, though? Right now and next week? Okay, but you say you want to just know about emotional healing from the past? Okay, I mean, I got you. You got to steer me a little closer, though. Like, what do you mean? Like, what to do? Or, like, I'm still a little curious as to your query into the oracle of the matrix. Like, I get, yeah, healing, like, but what about it? Like, are you doing some things? Do you want to change some things? Is it, like... You know what might be good for everybody on here? We'll do a whole show about, like, how to ask questions to the deck of cards. Like, maybe that... Here, I'll instruct everyone. Go online and just look at some tarot stuff, and then look into, like, how to ask the tarot questions, so that way you can kind of realize when I'm pulling out the major arcana, there's only certain things I can do. Where if I pull out the whole deck or the minor arcana, that we can... That's deeper. I don't think I'll do any minor arcana on here for everybody, because it will take too long, and that's kind of way too personal for people. Not that it can't be, like, not that somebody couldn't say, yeah, we can make this whatever, but again, remember, I've explained this before. This is like dealing with just the major archetypes, and it's basically an on-off switch of this archetype saying yes or no to something, or struggle or not so much, right? Ah. Yeah, Ripe Soul. Let's see where I'm at now. Oh yeah, I hear you, Cam. You know, yeah, rebound. You know, I'd listen to the Katesh here. Like, rebound is never a problem, man. You just know what it is. Don't fall back into it. You know. Just go out and have some fun, man. I mean, that's what you got to do. Just have fun. And if you're struggling with it, this goes back in everyone's conversation today, kind of about like depression and whatever. Deal with it, man. If you gotta sit at home and have a couple drinks by yourself and meditate on something, do it. You know, if you think that will help you. Yeah, the pins and needles. That's, yeah, definitely when you're in the right spot. So you mean you want to know what's coming up as far as like emotions for you? Oh, you're asking for, oh, okay, I see what you're asking now. So you want to know about, like, I'll pull you one card And y'all, I'm gonna have to. This is getting low. I forgot I have another computer in here, so I can continue this on my other computer in a second. So I got like 5 more minutes on here, and then I can jump over to my other computer because I charged that up a little bit while I was on this earlier. So yeah, Cam. Well, you should stop drinking the urine, man, because you're intensifying stuff. Sometimes you need, dude. Go eat some potato. Go eat some French fries, man. Go eat yourself a Big Mac. You know what I mean? I'm not really. Don't eat really a Big Mac, but you know, go do something that grounds you out. You get emotionally charged. You're literally amping up energy in your heart. Plus, because the heart is, you know, electrically charged thing. Plus, adding the urine. Yeah, man. Maybe you want to just ground out. You know. There you go. You stop with the piss for a little bit, man. You know, sometimes the healing needs to be done. Like if you're on an emotional thing, you can't be adding electricity to, you know what I mean? Sometimes you don't want to speed up the healing process. It's too much dilemma. Sometimes it's easier just to, you know, walk with the pain. Let me see. All right. How about this? I'm gonna do this last one here before I jump over to my other one, my other computer. I'll answer the crazy question by Ripe Soul. Are you here to change the world on a grand scale? I think obviously the better question is to ask yourself if you're here to change your life on a grand scale. But I know what you're saying. You're supposed to be changing the world on a grand scale. There you go. That's the sun upside down. The sun upside down. 19th card of the Major Arcana, which is the Holy Trinity. And essentially that has to do with conflicting personalities, difficulties in decidings, misunderstandings. Maybe the answer seems to be exactly what I said it was. That you shouldn't be focused on what you can do for the world right now. That your query should be into whether you should be changing things within your life and perspective and in your immediate environment to alter that. And then maybe you can ask the cards again. But then, after you've already fixed some of yourself, maybe you won't need to ask the cards, because you'll know the answer. Oh, well, Cam, you know, I guess that's for you to. If you don't eat something, if you know going into it, and you're not eating like a bunch of garbage, I think it can be healthy. If you know you're eating to heal, because sometimes they say, let your food be your medicine and medicine be your food, eat a healing food. If you have the blues, eat something red. Find some red foods. That will not only give you that feeling of energy, but it goes at your lowest chakra, which is, you know, where you get drained out. So red foods should help to balance out the blues. And yellows are good too. Yeah, that definitely happens. I've had that, and I'll just get a little farther, Cam. I've been, you know, I understand. I've been on the ground, like rolling around, incapacitated because of a breakup, like for a very long time, like exceptionally long. Well, Ripe Soul, what did you expect to happen? Alright, so check it out. Let me, of course. Man, yeah, you don't, there's some pains that I've been through that I go, man, there's like 3 things that I've gone through that I'm like, that caused me, like, I would never cause that amount of pain to anyone. I don't care if they killed my dog in front of me. Like, it's like that. Like, I'd be like, no, I couldn't even do that to that person. You know what I mean? And that was one of them. And because of how long it lasted. Like, how much pain and depression and suffering was caught up in somebody that I thought there was some sort of, like, literally, like, on some crazy levels, the things that linked up with us, I can't even tell the story. But you meet somebody in, like, names of people, things, events. I mean, just how we met, like, it's ridiculous. And then to have it squashed, that's tough, yo. Yeah, but you know, it's just you're just fertilizing your own ground, man. At least you should be happy that it's a good hard breakup happens early in life. I didn't have any good hard breakups when I was like 19, 20, whatever. How old are you now? How old are you, Cam? You 20, 21? Of course, we all do it to ourselves. There was nobody else involved. It was just me breaking up with myself. Oh no, you're not upsetting me. Why would that be upsetting to me? If from the highest self I can just sit here and always talk to no one and do nothing and sit in a cave. I mean, emotionally, does that bother me? No. I think it's a stupid thing to say, and I don't believe it to be true. You know? Just like I wouldn't say that to somebody that was like, 12-year-old. Well, you just did it to yourself, little one. Like, of course I realize in the larger context, Katesh, that we all bring about and upon existence to ourselves. You know what I mean? But, hey, we all want to get stabbed and beat up and hurt, right? We all invite it into our lives. And we invite it into our lives mainly because of the way culture has decided to destroy. And when I say culture, it's all of the those archons that are in force of society. Like, to the average 25-year-old, the average 30-year-old has no clue that they're bringing on anything into their life. So to say, but you caused it all? Oh, to have responsibility for everything? 99% of people I don't think would be on board with that, Katesh. But thank you, I do understand that, I do understand that, I do overstand that, but hey, sometimes, what do they say, it takes 2 to tango, it takes 3 to have a really fun time. Takes 3 for a menage a trois. But yeah. All right. Anyways, guys. It still hurts for me. No, not really. No, that makes sense that it's been over. But like, it's somebody that I go, oh man, if only I was better. Then I'd have to go through the whole thing. Oh, but she wasn't actually for me. Or, no, actually, she needed to grow. I needed to grow. Oh, no, we'll come together if the universe decides. I don't know. I'm just here now reading cards for people. Just being as much of a light in the darkness for everyone else. As it starts to go dark, I got to get off of here. But I'm going to get on this thing. So if anybody wants to join me for round 3, I'll name it something different. I'll be back in a second, y'all. Peace.